The worst team in Manchester United's history? What's happening with the English giant? Discover how the team got to this critical point and what Ruben Amorim has to say about the situation.
We are being the worst team, maybe, in the history of Manchester United. I know that you want headlines, but I'm saying that because we have to acknowledge that and to change that. So here you go, your headlines.
After Sir Alex Ferguson's departure in 2013, Manchester United entered a phase of transition that has yet to recover the level of success enjoyed during the era of the legendary Scottish manager. Ferguson's departure, after 26 years at the helm, marked the end of a victorious cycle and the beginning of a period of instability. Coaches after Ferguson 1. David Moyes. The first attempt to replace Ferguson was with David Moyes, chosen as the natural successor due to his success at Everton. However, Moyes couldn't replicate the same level of performance, and the season was marked by failures and difficulties. After an early elimination in the Champions League and results below expectations in the Premier League, Moyes was sacked in April 2014 before completing a full season. Ryan Giggs. After Moyes' departure, club icon Ryan Giggs took over on an interim basis, but with little success, and the team finished the season without major achievements. Louis van Gaal. Dutchman Louis van Gaal was hired to rebuild the team. He brought a more organized style of play, but his tactical approach was considered overly conservative by many. Even so, he won the FA Cup in 2016, but his relationship with the directors deteriorated due to inconsistent results. Van Gaal was sacked shortly after winning the trophy. José Mourinho. Portuguese manager José Mourinho arrived with a great reputation and initially brought some good results, such as winning the Europa League and the League Cup. However, his management style, often in conflict with players, and pragmatic approach to play drew criticism. After a below expectations 2018-2019 season, Mourinho was dismissed in December 2018. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Norwegian Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a former club idol, initially took charge as interim manager and, with a good run of results, was confirmed as permanent manager. Solskjaer had some promising moments, leading the team to solid campaigns in national and international competitions, but never won a major title. After a series of poor results, particularly in the Premier League, he was sacked in 2021. Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick took over on an interim basis, bringing his high-pressing philosophy to the team. However, his tenure was marked by a lack of consistent results, and he was not made permanent, assuming a consultant role instead. Erik ten Hag. Current manager Erik ten Hag was hired after his success at Ajax, where he won domestic titles and had good Champions League campaigns. His first year at the helm of United was positive, with a League Cup win in 2023 and qualification for the Champions League. However, inconsistent performances in some competitions and pressure for better results remain challenges for him. Ownership and structural changes. Manchester United has always been one of the biggest powers in football, but off-field issues have also influenced its performance. The club was acquired by the Glazers, an American investment family, in 2005. Since then, their management has faced constant criticism due to the club's debt, profit-driven management model, and lack of commitment to the club's culture. This has led to a tense relationship with fans, who frequently protest against the Glazer family, demanding a sale. In recent years, the club has been linked to potential sales and new investments, with Middle Eastern and Asian investors trying to acquire the team. The back and forth regarding ownership has created uncertainty about the club's financial and sporting future. Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. After his great success at Sporting CP, where he won important titles and gained recognition in European football, was hired to take charge of one of England's biggest clubs. His arrival at Manchester United was a club bet for a long-term project, seeking stability and continued success, especially after the instability the team has faced in recent years. At United, Amorim arrives with a tactical style focused on ball possession, high pressing, and fast, fluid football, very similar to what he implemented at Sporting. His ability to develop young players and work with squads that don't always have the biggest names has been one of his biggest strengths. He also has great experience in adjusting his team to different challenges, which could be essential for United, competing in multiple fronts, both nationally and internationally. What Ruben Amorim can bring to United. 1. Improved team performance, with United seeking to reclaim its place among European giants. Amorim's mission is to improve the team's performance in competitions like the Premier League and Champions League, bringing a more competitive mindset. Tactical discipline and flexibility, his ability to adapt tactics according to the opponent and the game, is something United needs. Amorim's tactical flexibility, which prioritizes high pressing without sacrificing fluid football, could be a game changer for the club. Expectations and challenges. The pressure on Amorim will be high, as Manchester United is a club with great expectations, and he will need to show his ability to balance quick results with a long-term vision. Given United's recent history, he will face the challenge of rebuilding the fans' trust and ensuring the team's competitiveness in major competitions. The current situation at Manchester under Ruben Amorim's management is truly challenging, and his criticism of the squad reflects the difficulty of dealing with a team that is going through a troubled phase. Amorim, who arrived with high expectations, didn't hesitate to make harsh remarks about the current squad, calling it the worst squad in United's history. This criticism reflected how difficult it has been for him to extract consistent results from this team. Amorim's criticism and United's situation, known for his demanding style and sharp tactical vision, did not hide his dissatisfaction with the team's quality. He pointed out the lack of depth in the squad, the absence of cohesion and leadership, which has hindered his ability to form a competitive team since his arrival. This kind of criticism, coming from such a promising manager, only confirms the desperation of the situation at the club. After the 3-1 loss to Brighton, Ruben Amorim stated that the current Manchester United is the worst team in the club's history, referring to its position in the table. He took charge of the team at the end of November, tasked with fixing the poor start to the season under Erik ten Hag. Less than 3 months later, the club remains in a difficult situation in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes responded to Amorim's remarks, emphasizing that the statement was a moment of anger from the coach. He highlighted the need for courage to play for United and stated that he would not want to hear his manager say such things about the team. As a fellow Portuguese, Fernandes understands emotional impulsivity, acknowledging that Amorim's words were said in the heat of the moment. Cristiano Ronaldo, who had memorable stints with United, was also highly critical about the situation at the club. He stated that the problem doesn't lie with the players or the coaches, but with structural and management issues. The fact that United continues to experience internal crises, unable to stabilize after Sir Alex Ferguson's departure, is a clear reflection of a problem that seems to go beyond on-field matters. Ronaldo has often pointed to the lack of strategic planning, something the club still hasn't been able to fix effectively. Market movements and the club's financial situation. Manchester United is making market moves, but the financial situation isn't great. The club is facing financial difficulties, forcing player sales to relieve the cash flow. Ruben Amorim has already begun making changes to the squad, and some of these decisions have caught attention. Antony, the Brazilian, was loaned to Betis. This move aimed to free up space in the squad and also relieve pressure on the forward, who hadn't been performing as expected. Rashford is not in Amorim's plans. Although one of the team's stars, the forward doesn't seem to fit Amorim's playing style, which opens doors for a possible sale or departure. Chelsea is eyeing Alejandro Garnacho, putting another young talent from the club at risk of being sold, especially considering United's lack of financial resources. The reality at United. Scorched earth. Manchester United truly seems to be in a scorched earth phase. The club is in a rebuilding process, but at the same time, it is struggling with a lack of investment, a squad that isn't delivering the expected results, and unstable management that has hindered the implementation of a long-term project. The identity crisis, which had already been pointed out by former players like Ronaldo, has now worsened with the harsh reality of a squad without quality and confidence. The future of United looks increasingly uncertain, with the team trying to reorganize in the market and find a direction to escape this tough situation. Ruben Amorim's era at Manchester United is still in its early stages, and the difficulties are already evident. The criticism of the squad and the market moves indicate that the road will be long and hard for the club. Amorim will have to rebuild not only the team, but also the fans' trust and the club's structural foundations, something that, as Ronaldo said, goes beyond mere player or coach changes. Manchester United needs a profound transformation to become the giant it once was. By accepting the challenge of coaching Manchester United, Ruben Amorim embarked on a difficult and complex mission, with the responsibility of resurrecting a club in crisis and dealing with a demotivated squad. Contrary to what many expected, Amorim didn't hesitate to try to recover players who were struggling, like Onana and Maguire, who have been constantly criticized for their inconsistent performances. He saw these pieces as an opportunity for transformation, trying to bring confidence and adapt them to the style of play he wants to implement at the club. Player recovery, Onana and Maguire. Andre Onana, the goalkeeper, came with the expectation of being the solution for United's goalkeeping position, but his adaptation was more difficult than expected. With ups and downs in his performances, Coach Amorim worked to give the goalkeeper more security and make use of his skills with his feet, something he brings from his time at Inter Milan. Harry Maguire, who has been heavily criticized for his lack of consistency and errors at crucial moments, also found himself in limbo. Amorim, however, believes in the defender's potential and has tried to give him a new chance, offering him more stability in defense and attempting to adjust his game to United's tactical system. Amad Diallo, the young revelation amidst the turbulence. Young Amad Diallo has stood out with incredible performances. The Ivorian winger, who had been loaned out in previous years, returned with a new spirit and has been one of the revelations of the season, showcasing his skills and being pivotal in some matches. His growth has been remarkable, and United now counts on him as one of their greatest attacking assets. In the match against Southampton, United was in a very difficult situation. After being down 1-0, it seemed like another defeat was unfolding for the team. However, in the last minutes, the team turned the game around in a dramatic fashion with a 3-1 victory. This type of victory, achieved with effort and in decisive moments, has become common for United under Amorim, who, although not fully convincing in terms of football, is managing to get results gradually, exceeding the expectations of many. Even with the difficulties and lack of charming football, Manchester United is managing to achieve something important: victories. Often playing poorly or inconsistently, but always striving for 3 points by any means necessary. This type of mentality, of not giving up and seeking victory at all costs, somewhat resembles the winning mentality of Sir Alex Ferguson's time, but of course, in a much less refined and more improvised version.